Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here. Welcome to DuePoint. We're going to spend the next almost an hour discussing who DuePoint is, what we do. I'd like to welcome everyone listening to us, or watching us, should I say, on the live stream from around the country. We've probably got another 200 people watching us around South Africa in little towns and big cities. Alrighty, so let's begin. DuePoint is actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. They were founded in 1952, so they've been around for nearly 70 years. It's a very well-founded, reputable business. We're actually owned by a company called the Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there, and you'll notice in our foyer above the water cooler, we've got all those certificates up on the wall. Those are all our FSB licenses. We've got our FSP license. We've got our short-term and long-term insurance license. We've got our investment license, and we've got our accreditation with the Direct Marketing Association as well as the Direct Selling Association. So that's Constantia in the background. That's their logo there. They're based just down the road from us in Randburg. At this point of the presentation, I want you to start building some trust in the business that we're going to speak about, because that's a very important first step in creating any partnership with anybody. There has to be some form of trust, right? And so that's why we've got all the certificates on the wall, besides the FSB regulation that says we have to have our FSB licenses on display. I want you to understand that this business is a very reputable business that has been around for a very long time. Okay. The individuals here at DuePoint, this is the executive and the senior management team at DuePoint. The three individuals on the left here, the serious people, are all registered chartered accountants. Okay, so they're very clever, or they keep telling me they're very clever. The first person over there that you see is Brendan. He's the senior executive. He leads this division, and we're very lucky to have him leading this division because he's so experienced in financial services, particularly insurance. His family have been entrenched in insurance for probably the last 50 years. His father started Clientele Life along with the IFA. Brendan and his brother Stuart, they went on to found Prime Meridian Direct. We all know PMD down the road because they do so much advertising on a monthly basis, right? So not only have they been involved in financial services, but they've been very successful in financial services. Then we've got Tim. Tim was working at the First Rand Group. He had a fairly senior position there where he was reporting directly to the board of executives at the First Rand Group. They're a very large banking organization. They own FNB, RMB. I think they own Discovery too. So we're very lucky to have him in the team. He heads up all our auditing and our financial, our regulatory aspects. Stacey supports him in that. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She's been with Deloitte all her working career here as well as in Europe. She was working in Luxembourg before she came back to South Africa. And then we've got the two non-accountants. Are we less clever than the accountants? Maybe a little bit less clever, but we're better looking. And I'm taller than the accountants, right? That's very important. But we're the non-accountants. But Jane is really the smile of DuePoint. She's always in reception. If you come to DuePoint, you are bound to bump into Jane. She'll want to know who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. She's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is fundamental to the growth of this business, because that's the way we engage with the public, with the consumers, is through direct marketing and direct selling, even though we're an insurance company, right? So we're very lucky to have all the experience she brings to the team. And then me, the tallest, the best looking out of everybody in the team, the happiest, the funniest. So you've got to compensate when you don't have an accounting degree, you see. So I've been working in marketing and advertising pretty much my whole working career. I did a little stint at Wits. My father wanted me to become an engineer. I started. It was far too difficult, so I dropped out. I told him only about a month later. And I've been working in marketing and advertising since then, and fairly successfully at it too. I started a digital agency when I was fairly young. I was, I think, 23 years of age. It was when the internet was booming in the mid-90s. You remember those little modems? Those things that used to make a noise on your table all the time. That's when I got involved in my business. We started a digital agency that catered to businesses wanting to get digital footprint out into the world. And so I ran that business for about 20 years before I jumped out of that business and into this business. So I've only worked at two companies my whole life. Huh? Actually, I worked at another company before then, but for a short amount of time. And we worked primarily in the financial sector, so I did a lot of work for the big brands like Investec and F&B and Standard Bank and ABSA and all of those guys. But this is the team that Brendan put together when he decided to start this business. Call us the A-team, because everyone he approached that he wanted in his team all said yes. There's no B-team players here in this team. And our mandate in this business is to support you guys, our wealth engineers. Right? That's my responsibility. That's all our responsibilities, to make our wealth engineers, or to support them to the extent that they can be as successful and as effective as possible in what we're going to be talking about today. And so we have this common interest, you and I. We've got a common interest to see you successful. And that's important when you create a partnership, right? You want to collaborate with the people that you're in a partnership with. That's usually when partnerships fail, is when there's no collaboration, when people don't have the same common goals. So these 2 points, the reputation, the credibility of this business we're looking at, and the people involved, should make you feel a little safer in this endeavor, because we know there's lots of schemes running around South Africa, right? Lots of them. Fortunately, we're not one of those. This is a very authentic entrepreneurial opportunity that we're going to be chatting about. So, what can you expect? What is the premise of our guests being here? How many guests do we have in the room? Just show me your one hand very quickly. It's the only, okay, we've got one. It's the only question I'm going to ask you. Don't be shy. Can't be shy when you get involved in your own business. So welcome. So what is the premise? What were you promised? What convinced you to come sit here on a public holiday? Freedom Day of all days. Freedom Day of all days. All right? It's ironic, isn't it? You're here looking for economic freedom on Freedom Day. So I welcome you. It's a great day. It's a great day because it might be this crossroads in your future. You don't know what the future holds. So what was the premise? Obviously, economic freedom. Someone said to you, are you interested in a financial opportunity? Are you interested in earning more money? Whatever they said to you. I hope they didn't say to you, come have the tea and coffee at this place. It's for free. I assume no one came because of free tea and coffee. If you're that desperate that you have to come here for free tea and coffee, well, then you're still in the right place, because we're going to help change that. So you can buy your own tea and coffee for home. So that's really the premise. But what are the 2 aspects that we look at? What drives people to want to come spend their free time listening to this guy on the stage about economic freedom, financial freedom? Well, there are 2 aspects that we speak about. The one is the economy, right? Which is not a very nice subject to talk about currently. It's depressing, right? And Brendan gets really upset when we talk about the economy. Brendan has stopped listening to the news, stopped getting the newspaper, doesn't go on to News 24. He doesn't want to hear about it anymore because it's so depressing, right? What makes it so frustrating? Can I tell you why it is so frustrating hearing about all this negative news about our economy? The frustrating thing is we don't have any control over it. Don't you just look at it and think, I just want to fix it. We can just fix it. We can get rid of these people and put some of these people here and there, and I can do this and I can change that and I can change behavior of people, but you can't. So it's very frustrating. It's stressful because it affects us directly, right? We see the economy. What does the economy mean to us? What it typically means is unemployment, difficult to find a job, retrenchment in our future, possibly, or maybe you've experienced retrenchment. It means that your company tells you, sorry, we're not giving bonuses. Sorry, we're not giving a raise to anyone this year. That's how it kind of exacerbates itself into our lives. It means fuel is going to go up. It means petrol is going to go up. It means inflation is sitting at 8%. So it has all these negative consequences in our lives. So I don't need to tell you how it affects you. I can tell you from a macro point of view, this is kind of what is happening in our economy. But individually, each one of you have got your own story about what's happening financially in your lives, right? And I hear about all kinds of stories. Good wealth engineers that came to me and said, I prayed for a solution, and this arrived this month where I was failing to understand how I was going to get bread on the table next month or pay my kids' school fees. And then other people, they might be okay financially, but they want more out of life, right? The employer might be paying them enough, they might be getting by, but they're certainly not thriving, they're not enjoying life. So everyone's situation is different. The other aspect that we speak about is the four-letter word over here. You see the four-letter word? The love affair that we all have with that thing. Because we love it, right? Why do we have so much of it if we don't love it? Financial situation. That's what we blame it on. Oh, we blame it on the financial situation. That's why I have 14 credit cards. I'm going to get a 15th one next month to pay for the other ones. Right? That's the trouble that you can get into from a debt perspective, right? Whew! And the statistics we get from the FSB that paints a picture of what personal finances looks like for South Africans is a bleak one. It's a bleak one. The average South African spends 50% of his salary or her salary repaying debt. 50%, half your salary goes out the window before you can even spend a cent. Those debit orders. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching into someone else's bank account. Right? The average South African only starts investing when they're in their 50s. In your 50s, you start investing. You've come to the party too late. Okay? Unfortunately, we offered this thing debt at a very early age. Typically, you offer debt the moment you start earning a salary. So whenever you started getting a fixed salary, that was a great thing for companies because they knew they could count on you to debit you, right? They don't force you into it, by the way. This is something that you take up. You decide, I want debt. But anyway, the financial institutions will offer you all kinds of things. Not only debt instruments, they will offer you savings. They will offer you investment products. But we all engage in the debt instruments before we engage in investments. On average, there's a few people that are a bit smarter, right? Or are in a circumstance where they're able to, which is what we want to change. But people will get credit cards, they'll get personal loans, they'll get educational loans, clothing accounts. You can get, I think, a Woolworths card. You can buy avocados on hire purchase. So you can pay for food you ate 6 months ago today. Car loans. Nice to have a car. Hey, I'm looking at the men. It's nice to have a nice car. Right? It's my weak spot. It's my weak spot. To have a nice car. I love cars. Love cars. And the car industry is also under pressure. Right? You see all the fancy deals they offer you now? The advert comes in the newspaper. New car, 2,500 rand a month. You think, that's not bad. Then that little, where you've got to put your glasses on to read, 40% residual, paying off for 7 years. You'll end up paying that car off over 10 years because that 40% residual hits you only at the end. They say, oh no, you still owe 40% on the car. I've got to finance that again, another 4 years. Houses, it's probably the longest term of debt that we enter into, right? If you're in the position to buy a house, always better than renting, they tell you. So you go to the bank because you can't buy a house cash. Go to the bank and they say, we give you a bond. And typically we say, no, we want the 20-year bond. You know you can take a shorter term on your bond. You don't have to take 20 years. But what do? We go look for the nicest house we can find. So we say, well, I'm earning this much. This is how much bond I qualify for. What's the biggest house I can get? I'll pay it over 20 years. Some places even offer you 30-year bonds. So engage in that, another debt instrument. And then we have this other thing, other than debt, that starts looming down on us. What starts getting closer to us the older we get? Starts barreling down on us. It only becomes a realization when you get into maybe your late 30s. It's called retirement. If you're in your 20s, you're not even thinking about retirement, right? No one thinks of retirement in their 20s. So here's some retirement data. More for the young people, because us old people is too late now to plan for retirement. It's for the young people. So anyone around the age of 25, you can start engaging responsibly now in good retirement planning so that you're not in the position of us old people. When I say old, I mean anyone over 40. I feel old at 40. I actually don't feel old at 40. Just the number sounds old. So now look at this retirement data. This was published on the Fin24 website the end of last year. This is not my data. This is someone else's data. And this was predicated on the information of the rising mortality rate, right? So people are living longer every year, right? Because we've got advancement in medical technology and health and all of those services. So people are living longer. There are 4,000 people in South Africa that are over the age of 100. 4,000, right? So when you do retirement planning, you can't rest on the fact that the current mortality rate is 74. So people dying today, on average, around the age of 74. But the people that are living today, we're going to live past 74. Some of us are going to live to 90, 100. Kids being born today, almost all of them are going to live to 100. What does that mean for your retirement planning? It means when you retire at 60, you've got to figure out a way of supporting yourself for the next 30 to 40 years, right? So this data says, well, you're going to live for 30 years. You're going to live from 60 to 90. So what do you want to do? You want to start saving responsibly, right? So you say, okay, I'm going to put 800 Rand a month away. From the age of 20. From the age of 20, you start putting 800 Rand a month. By the time you're 60, you'll have saved R1 million in an investment, right? That R1 million will pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. When you're 60 years old, you can tell your boss, I'm retiring now, unless he's pushed you into early retirement, which a lot of companies do in this economy. So you get to retirement, you're getting paid 5,000 Rand a month. Can you live on 5,000 Rand a month? No. You can't? Let me tell you, a lot of the population is forced to live on 5,000 Rand a month. You might say, I can't live on that much, but you'll be forced to, right? Because only 2% of the population get to retirement financially independent. 2%. That's one person in the room. I'm trying to look for him or her. Huh? Anyone doing responsible retirement planning? I wasn't. So that's certainly not a dignified retirement. We want to look at something a little better. 26,000 Rand a month. Now that sounds a lot better. For 26,000 Rand a month, you can live life. You've just slaved for 40 years. For what? For what? So that you can suffer in retirement? No. 26,000 Rand sounds a lot better. So if you're around 20 to 25, start saving. 4,000 Rand a month. That 4,000 Rand a month has to go up every year. You've got to do a 7% annual contribution increase on that 4,000 Rand a month. But over 40 years, if you do that for 40 years, you'll be in the position where you've got an investment with 5 million Rand. And that 5 million Rand will pay you out 26,000 Rand a month, but only till you're 90. Because that 26,000 Rand a month actually eats into that 5 million Rand. Slowly, slowly, slowly. So at 90, you run out of money. Okay? So this is what responsible retirement planning looks like. Is anyone doing this? Maybe one or two people, right? One or two people. If you're under the age of 25, you've still got time to do this. If you're 30, you've got to put more than 4,000. If you're 40, 10,000 a month to get to that position. Can you see how difficult it is? See how unrealistic it is? Can you see why people, only 2% of us do this? The rest of us, we get to retirement, now we're dependent on someone else for our money. Government grant, how much is that? That's not, too little. So you go to your kids, you go to other family members. You've got to downgrade your lifestyle so that you can afford to survive. That's not a fun retirement. So we have all these things playing out in our lives. Unfortunately, retirement planning, we realize too late, right? And debt is one of those things that cripples us from a retirement point of view. Because if you focused on debt, and we're all focused on debt, I know we are. We live month to month, month to month, month to month, month to month, in annual cycles, right? You try catch up during the year, then what happens in December? Christmas, holidays, the kids want presents, you've got to pay a deposit on the education, the schools, the next month. January, you're crying. February, you're trying to catch up again. The start of the catch up. February all the way to December, and you're in the same cycle again. Same cycle, same cycle, same cycle. And when the economy starts to squeeze you, when the economy says to companies, sorry, you can't afford to give raises to your staff. Sorry, you need to retrench if you want the company to survive. Sorry, the dollar's going up and food's becoming more expensive. Sorry, there's a drought. Now maize, food, the stuff that our farmers produce isn't being produced, and now food inflation suddenly jumps to 11%. When all those things start squeezing you, you can't make it through the month. Do you know that 50% of the people that have debt are under debt review in this country? 50% of people that have any form of debt in this country, which is pretty much all of us, 50% of the people aren't making it because they aren't paying their debt back, and they get to the position where they're put under debt review because they've missed 3 months of payments on the debt that they owe. It's frightening statistics. We've got 1 million kids coming out of school every year into the workplace. 1 million almost a year. Guys, this is why we're here. We have to make a decision to change our circumstance. Our employer's not going to do it for us. Lotto tickets aren't going to do it for us. The government is not going to do it for us. Your friends aren't going to do it for you. Your spouse is not going to do it for you. You've got to decide for yourself, what am I going to do to change this? And so, DuePoint was born a year ago, more than a year ago, last year in February. We saw this opportunity as a business, right? We're a commercial enterprise. We saw it as a business opportunity to create a platform for South Africans, for the average South African to change this issue, the circumstance that we find ourselves in. We have 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers, 3 goals that we have for you. The first goal is to see you become debt-free. Debt-free. I don't know if anyone even considers that as a goal in their lives at the moment. You just want to survive, right? You want to pay the bills. Now he's talking about becoming debt-free. Yeah, we take that goal very seriously. You'll see everything that we do in this business is to get you to the point where you're actually debt-free. People only really become debt-free when they're in their 50s, because that's the first time they've paid the house off. It's the first time the kids are out the house, out of school, maybe through university. Now you're not supporting your kids anymore. I saw a lovely bumper sticker on someone's car the other day, about a month ago. Made me laugh. It was the first time I saw a bumper sticker like that. You know, some of these people have got the family, the stick family on the back. Dad's on the bicycle, mom's shopping, little kids, the dog, the cat. Some of them have got the little triangle that says baby on board. This guy had financial burden on board. Because that's what kids are, right? Kids are expensive. My kid's creche is more expensive than Wits. I said to my wife, why are we bothering sending the kid to creche? Just go straight to Wits. Why not if it's cheaper? Right? She's got 20 years a head start on everyone. I'm sure she can get through the first year in 20 years. It'll be cheaper than sending her through to school. That's a frightening thing. Education is becoming such a priority because the workplace is becoming so competitive. Everyone in this room, we're all fighting for the same jobs that are available. We're all in competition with each other, all of us. And so education is becoming a great thing to invest in because parents are now becoming so neurotic about giving their kids opportunity that other kids can't afford. Horrible situation. So we want to see you debt-free, okay? Our second aspiration is to see you reward yourself first, which means we want to see you invest in yourself first, not in everybody else. We put everybody else before ourselves. Do you realize that? You get your salary. Who takes the first portion of your salary? Tax. You don't even see that money. They take it before you even get it. Now that's a good system, right? If I could get that system right. And then who else gets the money before you see it? Everyone that you've got debt with. Those debit orders. Take a slice, take a slice, take a slice, take a slice, take a slice. And when do you get to the point where you invest in yourself? If you're stretched every month, you don't. You don't get to that point. Because you're just trying to survive. So we want to see you, as our second goal, start investing in yourself, in something that grows every month, something you can build, something you can look forward to, something you own. Having the luxury of having a bond on your house is not something you own. The bank owns that. The bank owns your car until you pay it off. 20 years down the line, you go, I own my house. that's falling apart because it's 20 years old. Right? Not an investment. So we want to see you invest in yourself. Then our third aspiration is to see our wealth engineers connect with their dreams and aspirations. So that sounds a bit fluffy. But what it really is that we want to see you happier. That's really what we're doing all this for, right? It's just to be a little happier, to change our circumstance so that we're not stressed month to month. Because if you're debt-free and you're creating value in something that grows every month, that you're building, that you own, that you're going to look forward to, that's true freedom. That is true freedom, because that is what freedom's all about. It's about choice. It's about liberation, right? You can be politically free, but if you're not economically free, are you happier? You're not. Because we're stressing about our families, our kids, our situation, the debt we have, someone getting retrenched in the family. That's the real stuff that we have to deal with. So we want to see our wealth engineers happier. I promise you, you'll be happier if you're debt-free. Okay, so those are only 3 goals here for our wealth engineers. How does that work? Well, our guests here this afternoon, you've got the opportunity to become wealth engineers. You have the opportunity to join DuePoint. You contract with us. And we call you wealth engineers, and we expect you to only do one thing, and that's to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you one of those. And into these channels of distribution, we will attempt to place product through our online portal with the people that you introduce to us. That's how this whole system works, as basic as that. The opportunity, the benefit for you is that you get to create an additional income stream. It's the only way you're going to pay your debt off any faster. If you're happy to be in the position where you hope your employer doesn't retrench you, where you hope to get your 8% annual increase in your salary, then you can pay your debt off after whatever the term is, 20 years, 5 years on the car, or 7 years on the car, educational loan, the personal loan. You'll just keep maintaining that debt. You won't catch up, right? Creating additional income stream for yourself allows you to catch up faster than everyone else. Don't wait till you're 50 before you become debt-free. Do it sooner. Recurring income. This business allows you to create recurring income. It's the biggest reason why I left my business. I ran my business for 20 years. I couldn't create any recurring income. What does recurring income mean? It means that the time and effort that you put into something, into an asset, right, whether it's a business or property or whatever, doesn't pay you just once off. It pays you in a recurring fashion. It keeps paying you and keeps paying you, right? So all the work we do is not recurring income. As a designer by trade, which is what I am, or a developer, or you're a lawyer, or you're a hairdresser, you're just selling time. You never create any recurring income. You want to make more money? You've got to do another haircut. You want to make more money next month? You've got to do more haircuts. It's the same for lawyers, the same for doctors, same for anyone involved in trade. You want to earn more, you've got to do more. In this business, you can start building something. This residual value is what you're building, but it pays you on a recurring fashion, right? Power of duplication. You get to harness the power of duplication. How do CEOs make so much money and pay themselves such big bonuses? They leverage all the employees that work for them, because they've got the same amount of time as you and me in the week, 40 hours work week, 8 hours in a day. Why do they get more? It's because they've got 10, 100, 1,000 staff working for them. They can take what they want, right? In this business, there's something similar that happens. You get to leverage these teams that you're going to build. These channels of distribution, they're actually teams of people that you're building. And if you're collaborating with teams of people, now you've got much more time being invested into your business. You're not limited by only your time. You're limited by how many people you can get to collaborate with you. And so you leverage your time for your own financial benefit. Okay? You're completely flexible in terms of your time. Or should I say accountable to your own time. You're independent. So you need to decide how much time you want to invest in this business. Are you willing to do that? Because we're sitting here on a public holiday, we could be having a braai somewhere. Right? I'd much rather be standing around a braai with a beer and a steak on the braai. rather than listening to this guy on the stage talking about all the problems I have. That's the truth, right? So when we talk about being independent, what I'm really talking about is your willingness to give up your spare time to make this business work. Because anyone can join this business. Anyone. You can walk in, you say, I don't want to watch the presentation, I don't want to know anything, I just want to join. I say, sure, there's the iPad, join. But to be successful, to create residual value, to create recurring income, takes lots of time, takes effort. So that's the decision you need to make by the end of this presentation. If you are interested in what I'm proposing to you today, by the end of the presentation, decide how much spare time you're going to contribute to this business by the end of the presentation. You've got about 30 minutes to decide. Is it family time, weekend time, Sundays, Saturdays? Is it every day after work? Is it time before work? What's it going to be? There's no way around it. There's no way around it. That's the decision we're making at the end of the presentation. There's no startup capital. There's no joining fees, registration fees. There's no 24-month contract. You're free in this business. It's a very low-risk business opportunity we're talking about. It's very accessible to a lot of people. There's no qualifications or experience required, which is one of the regulations in financial services, but we actually contract you out of all those issues so that you can get involved in this business. Doesn't matter if you've got matric or don't have matric. You've got a degree or don't have a degree. You're an accountant or you don't have an accountant. I'm offering you an opportunity where you can reap the benefit of being in financial services. Because it's only financial services typically that create recurring income. You get to build an asset. Now, this is a very important benefit. Because if I'm saying to you, if I'm proposing to you, I want your free time, your family time, your leisure time, public holidays, weekends. That's the time I want from you for this business. At least have ownership over what you're building. You own what you're building. The channel of distribution, you can sell it. You can give it to your kids when you get too old to work this business. If something happens to you, you can give it to your beneficiaries. It can be in your will. You can cede it to your beneficiaries. You can put it in a family trust if you want to be very clever, right? Because it's treated as a legal asset. This flies in the face of what we're all doing. Because all of us are committing 40, 45 years to something, to someone else's business with no ownership in it, no say, no shareholding, no profit share. Can't even get an 8% increase a year out of this business that we're committing our lives to, 8 hours a day. You have ownership over this. There's no selling involved in this business. Who thought they were going to be asked to sell something? No hands. You're lying to me again. The guests all thought, what am I selling? When's he going to get to the products? Hey? You walked in looking for the vitamins. Where are the vitamins? There's no selling at all. No selling at all. We actually contract you out of selling, right? The nature of our business are financial products. They are intangible products. We don't hide our products behind reception. They don't take up space at home. They don't expire. You want to really do good sales is when you realize all the product you bought expires next month. Then you're going to be selling. Right? You don't have to worry about any of that. We make this business as convenient, as simple as possible to get involved in. But that's the easy part, right? And it's all dependent on you building these channels of distribution. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. That's you in the middle there. You become a wealth engineer and you go out and you tell other people about the business opportunity, right? And they join DuePoint and we place a product with them and they go out and they tell people about the DuePoint opportunity. This is called referral marketing. It's one of the most powerful forms of marketing that exists in the world today. When you come tell me, my friend comes and tells me, I've got a great business opportunity, I'll listen to him. But if I see some advert on the internet website when I'm trying to find a cooking recipe and some advert comes to me and tells me, I'm not interested in that. But when my friend comes to tell me, somebody that I know, someone who's credible comes to tell me, that's a whole different story. And this is how your channel of distribution grows. It's through referrals. It's through word of mouth. Just talking. God-given talent, just is talk. Right? Can't be shy in this business. Although we've got some very successful wealth engineers who are shy. But it hasn't stopped them. And so this channel of distribution can take on this organic growth that grows and grows and grows. Because next month, a few more dots will appear. Every single dot here means that you're earning recurring income. And when another dot appears, now you're earning more recurring income. You can get to the position where you can take 3 months holiday in this business, and we'll keep paying you every month. Sounds crazy, right? That's what insurance does. I used to work for a World Banker accountant, one of my first jobs. World Banker accountant, very clever man, successful man. And now he's a real Madalla. He's about 80 years old, retired in the Cape. And he phoned me the other day and he said, I heard you changed businesses. What are you doing now? I said, I got involved with an insurance company. You know what his words were to me? He said, that's a great business to be in. A great business to be in. Because he appreciated the value, the residual value an insurance company can create for itself that keeps paying on a recurring basis. You have that opportunity to get involved with us. My disclaimer slide. Can you all see the ballerina's feet? This is what we think a ballerina is all about, right? This left foot over here, the pretty foot. If you've ever been to the State Theatre to watch the ballet, you should go. It's lovely. See all the ballerinas running around on their toes, looking very pretty and skinny. But that's what being a ballerina is really all about. And we look at business in the same way. We look at these people starting businesses, people that are successful at business. We go, oh, it looks so good. They got a nice car. The dog even looks good. Nice house. But you don't know what's going on in the background for that person that's made a success out of themselves. The late hours, the frustration, nearly going into liquidation, not giving up, being told by other people that business doesn't work, but not listening to them. That's what this business requires. This business is not special. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Get-rich-quick scheme says to you, just put money here, next week you're going to have more money. If you fall for that one, maybe you deserve to lose your money. Let me tell you now, if you've ever had the opportunity to start your own business, it is extremely difficult to make a success out of it. Anyone can go to their company's registrar and start a business. You sign a document, that's it. There, you got a business. To make it successful, it's a whole nother story. 95% of businesses fail in the first year. 95%. You got the opportunity to get into partnership with people that have been extremely successful in business, that know what they're doing, that have created a platform that's working for other people, right? So don't make the mistake of thinking that you're going to be successful quickly. That thing does not exist. If someone tells you that's possible, they're lying to you. But we're willing to go long term with you. I'm willing to create a partnership with you where I'm here for the next 20 years and you here for the next 20 years. And we can laugh and cry together. Because when you're dealing with people, there's lots of crying, right? We know this. I can't even get on with my family. Now I'm expected to create a business with people outside of my family. So there's frustration in it. So I want you to expect the frustration, but not to give up. That's why you have to have a big enough why for this. Because if I say to you, well, this is frustrating, it's difficult to be successful, it's going to require your spare time, you need to have a big enough reason why you're going to get through all of that. And that can only be a long-term expectation. Don't come to me and tell me your goal is next month to earn whatever, 55 Rand, 165 Rand. That's not going to get you out of bed in the morning thinking about DuePoint. I want you to tell me, in 20 years' time when I retire, I want to be earning 100,000 Rand a month. Now we're talking, right? You go speak to Patrick and Pumi. You know what their aspiration is? They want a house in Steyn City. Have you seen the houses in Steyn City? Open the newspaper one day and go to Steyn City and look at the houses there. They start at about 15 million each. That's a goal. That gets them out of bed every single morning. It gets them on the phone every single day to people. Never giving up. Is it frustration-free? Never. Pumi's always moaning at me about stuff. Complaining about this, complaining about that. Which is fine. I don't mind complaining. I mind people that give up. So it's my disclaimer slide. You know what to expect now, eh? Don't come to me and say, this is not easy. I'm going to say, exactly, it's not easy. How do you earn here at DuePoint? We pay our wealth engineers something that we call returns. Returns is what you earn at the end of every month, depending on how many products you have in your channel, right? So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that we're able to place in your channel, okay? So remember the first 5 individuals that joined your business, your channel? Those people lie on your first point. These are people that you know personally. On your first point, we pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So we pay you 55 Rand. Remember, not once off, every month. 55 Rand every month for every product on your first point. On your second point, again, double. 55 Rand every single month going forward. To the third point, it drops back to 100%, 27.50 Rand. To the fourth point, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. At the 8th point, you see the multiplier starts dropping to 4%. But from the 8th point onwards, we keep paying you that 4%. So in 20 years' time, how big your channel is, we don't limit you on how big your channel can get. We will pay you from the 8th point to infinity, in theory. There's no limit on how big your channel can get. There's no limit on how much you can earn at DuePoint. The accountability, again, lies with you guys. It's up to you. Okay? So this is the mechanics of our returns. I think it's fairly straightforward to understand. The next natural question is, well, how much money can I earn? Like, how much money do people earn in this business after 3 months or 6 months? Or you talk long term after 5 years? So what we did was we said, okay, if you're able to put in 3 people in your first month, yeah? So let's call it May. If you can bring 3 people into DuePoint in your first month, and then you only have to bring in 2 people every consecutive month thereafter. So May's 3 people. June, you only bring in 2. July, 2. August, 2. We call it the 3+2 growth formula. If you can follow that formula, you can expect to be earning 2,500 Rand a month after 6 months. Requires that consistency, though. 6 months, 2,500 Rand. It's not a lot of money, is it? 2,500 Rand, what can you do? You can go to Woolworths once. Huh? You can buy 1 pair of Nikes with 2,500 Rand. Maybe it's not a lot of money. But most of us are on the wrong side of this thing called compound interest, right? When you've got debt, you're on the wrong side of compound interest. That's what we're trying to solve. So instead of spending the 2,500 Rand at Woolworths, on a new pair of shoes, on a handbag, on a nice lunch, on toys for the kids, you reward yourself first. Pay yourself first. You put that money into debt. So here we have an example of a R1 million bond that this individual has. Got a R1 million bond. He's paying the bank back 12,000 Rand every month for the next 20 years. So if he started in his 30s, he's only going to pay that house off when he's in his 50s, right? For 20 years, you're happy to pay 11,000 Rand a month back to the bank. But you join DuePoint, and 6 months later, you get 2,500 Rand. 2,500 Rand, you decide, I'm going to put it extra into the bond. You'll pay the bond off in 11 and a half years. That's nearly half the time. Do you know how much money you've saved yourself in terms of repayments? This is money that you've saved yourself. That 2,500 Rand will save you R1 million on a R1 million bond. You've saved the same amount of money of what the whole house cost you in the beginning. So if you're wondering, how on earth am I going to be in the position where I can save R1 million for my retirement? 6 months away. 6 months away in debt savings, because I know everyone has debt, right? But we don't look at it like that. We go, 2,500 Rand extra. What? Something nice I can buy. You know, I've been suffering every month. I need something nice. Going to get my nails done. Guys, that's what we call living month to month. If you want to get out of the cycle that you're in, you need to decide what you're going to do for yourself in 5 years' time. Put down a 5-year goal. And every month you work on that 5-year goal. Not month to month. If you live month to month, nothing changes. After 12 months, 9,000 Rand a month. That's over 100,000 Rand annually in recurring income that you've created for yourself. Do you know that when you create 2,500 rand recurring income for yourself, you've in effect created a 500,000 rand cash investment for yourself? You want to earn 2,500 rand, you have to put 500,000 rand away in a cash investment. That will pay you out 2,500 rand a month in interest. You can do that in 6 months with your spare time. 10,000 rand, that's 2 million rand almost, right? After 24 months, 30,000 rand a month. Now you're talking. It doesn't matter how much money you earn. You can be earning 200,000 rand a month, 30,000 rand a month. You're going to say, yes, please. But it requires 24 months of consistent work in this business. And what is consistent work? It means that you're thinking about this business every single day for 24 months. Keep going. 36 months, 50,000 rand a month, right? Here's an example of a 5 million rand bond, because now you're a high flyer at DuePoint. Got a 5 million rand house. You take what you're earning out of DuePoint and you add it into that bond repayment. You're going to pay off that 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. Now, I like this example because it gets me excited, because I know I'm 40 years of age. I think, geez, if I can get to that position and pay off a 5 million rand house off in 7 years, I start doing it now. When I'm 47, I pay my first house off, 5 million rand. Go buy another one. Do it again. Now I'm 54. I've got 2 houses that I've paid off, 5 million rand each. Right? I'm living in the one. I can rent out the other one. So I'm 54. I'm renting out the other one for how much? 30,000 rand a month? How much does a 5 million rand house get rented out for? About that, 25,000, 30,000 a month. I do it again. I'm 61 years of age, ready to retire. I now have 3 houses to the value of 5 million rand each. I can stay in the one and rent out the other 2. I'm now creating about 60, 70,000 rand of passive income just from property rental for myself. Where will I be here in 20 years' time? Those property assets will mean nothing. There'll be small change on the side. I probably won't rent those properties out. I'll sell them and buy a 15 million rand beach house. That's probably where I'll be. You need to make the decision 20 years before you get there. 20 years before that stage, right? That's big commitment. People can't even commit to gym in the first week of the new year. Now I'm saying to you, 20 years commitment. We all get excited and we nod. Yes, 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 I can do this. I can do this. Gym for 1 week. I can't do this gym anymore. Guys, you have to have a big enough reason why, right? A big enough reason why to do this. You keep going. 48 months, you're on probably close to 70,000 rand a month. Where on this process are you going to tell your boss to take his job and stick it? 60 months, you've created yourself nearly 1 million rand of recurring income annually. But this is all based on the clever accountants doing some clever maths, right? 3 plus 2, they call it. It's all academic. It's all in theory. But it's only an example. It is only an example. You can do less. Like I said, it's easy to become a wealth engineer. You can become a wealth engineer. You can commit no time to the business. Then you can be the 0 plus 0 growth formula. Maybe I'll even put your photo up here in the presentation and say, this is is doing 0 plus 0. Look, after 6 months, he's created 0 recurring income. And in 60 months, it'll also be on 0, right? Because that's what life's all about. You can get involved in anything in life, but to be successful at it, whole nother different story. But you can also do the opposite. You can do more than 3 plus 2. What does more than 3 plus 2 look like? It looks like this. Mavuma joined in November. He told me he didn't even do any work on the business in December because he went away on holiday with his kids, with his family. By February, he had created nearly 5,500 rand of recurring income for himself. So he worked November and January and February. 3 months, 5,500 rand. 3 plus 2 gets you to 2,500 rand after 6 months. So he doubled 3 plus 2 in half the time. He created for himself in the space of 3 months, in 90 days, 90 days, he created a cash investment value of R1,000,000 for himself. R1,000,000. These rich people running around, if they want to create extra 5,500 rand of recurring income for themselves, they have to put R1,000,000 into an investment to do that. Mavuma did in 90 days for himself. Didn't matter what qualifications he had. Didn't matter if he had a matric or not a matric, a degree or not a degree. Didn't matter whether he worked for a great company or a poor company. Didn't matter. He did it for himself. Didn't have to rely on anyone else. His relationship with his boss, right? What happens if you have a bad relationship with your boss? That's bad. I think some of you do have bad relations with your bosses, right? Then you're stuck. No one's in the position of telling their boss, I'm going to go look for another job. Thanks for nothing. Because we don't have that financial freedom. Donnie, he joined us when the business launched last year in February. His residual value has gone up every single month. Every single month. He's got control over it, right? Something that's sustainable for him. He knows I can invest time in something that I know will grow for me, something that I own. Patrick and Pumi. They doubled their income in the space of 4 months. From 16,000 to 33,000. See? And we gave them a 50,000 Rand reward last week, Tuesday. So last month they made 83,000 Rand in 1 month. They've been doing this business for 12 months. For 12 months, people will go study for a degree for 5 years, come out of university and not be able to find a job. I get most excited when I see young people join this business. You know how hard it is to get young people to join this business? They know too much. They think they know too much. The problem is they don't know enough. Even at my young age of 40, I've experienced enough to know all the mistakes I made in my life. So I get excited when I see young people join. I get excited when I see young people who haven't really experienced the downside of debt and accountability and having to raise kids, when they still see the significance of this opportunity and they get involved. Because things can change so quickly in this business for you. 12 months they've done this. It surprises me even when I see it, right? I know who to go to for a loan now. Go to Patrick and Pumi. I know how much you're getting. Give me just a little bit. I'm doing all the work, right? They're doing a lot of work. And so we pay hundreds of wealth engineers every single month who are making a success out of this business. Whether they're growing slowly or whether they're growing fast, at least they're growing every month, right? And that's the opportunity. That's the wonderful thing, is that you can grow every month. Go to your employer and say, listen, I saw this great business opportunity, but I don't have spare time. Can you give me a raise every month? Your employer will tell you to humber out the office. If you go ask him again, he'll call security, right? It's crazy. And we're begging for just 8% a year increase. Just give me 8% so my salary doesn't devalue this year because I'm already stretched. So those were the returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers every month, but we've got something extra. We've got this thing called the XP Rewards program. This is something over and above the residual value that you could create for yourself. This is where we have a little bit of fun being part of DuePoint, because we expect that if you're going to be with DuePoint and you're committed to it, we're going to be together for the rest of your life, right? So we've got this XP Rewards program that rewards you with things that help you build your channel more effectively. It rewards you in the form of holidays, cars, all kinds of things. And how do you get through this XP Rewards program? Well, if you start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior, like coming to presentations, the easy stuff, coming to presentations, bringing people with you, logging onto the website, watching training videos, not complicated stuff. If you do all of that stuff, we give you something called XP. The XP tells us how much you're doing as a wealth engineer. And when you start collecting more XP and you start having success in this business, your channel starts to grow at the same time. When you do these two things, we reward you, right? So our guests here this afternoon, if you become wealth engineers, you'll have the illustrious title of being a rank 0 wealth engineer. Because you're still 0 plus 0 equals 0. You rank 0. You've done nothing except join. Okay? But very quickly, you can get to rank 1. Very quickly. In less than a day, you can get to rank 1. And at rank 1, you need 1,000 XP. You need 4 products in your qualified channel. And you'll be earning a return at the end of that month, right? But through the XP Rewards program, we'll give you an extra 55 Rand, just to say, well done on getting to rank 1. Now aim for rank 2. It's a way of us incentivizing you so that you've got something to aim for all the time, right? Because if you don't have a goal, you're not going to get anywhere. We give away tools at some of the ranks that help you build your business more effectively. So here's Patrick and Pumi with their lightning memory stick. It's a lovely little device because it plugs into anything, that device. You see, it's got 2 ends, that device. It plugs into computers, laptops, tablets, cell phones. Doesn't matter if it's Apple or Android or banana. I see lots of bananas. We want to change that for you as well. Right? It plugs into everything. But more importantly, it's got all our video collateral on that little memory stick. All our videos, our intro presentations, these presentations, Tell All Tuesdays, testimonials, training videos, the interviews we've done with the successful wealth engineers. We put all of that onto that little stick so that Patrick and Pumi can show this business to anyone on any device at any time of the day. At rank 7, we give you luxury business cards. These are one-of-a-kind business cards because we're willing to spend 12,500 Rand getting these business cards manufactured just for you. One set, 12,500 Rand. They're 4 times thicker than any other card. They're printed on a black suede paper. There's no printing done. No printing. It's all gold that gets gilded and foiled onto that card. Because people haven't heard of DuePoint. But if I put a business card in your hand that's 20 times more valuable than the card you're giving me, who do you think is going to have more credibility? It's going to be you, right? At rank 9, we take you and your family, business class flights, to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip. Not once, I'll take you every single year. When you get to rank 9, I'll take you every single year on this trip with your family. Right? We've had a gentleman get to rank 9 in 5.5 months. 5.5 months he got to rank 9. This is available for everybody in the room. Everyone in the room. Unfortunately, we've all been led through our lives to value ourselves depending on how successful we are in the workplace. We do that, right? I earn this much, I must be less valuable than that person that earns that much. That person got to go to university. I didn't get to go to university. That person got to get a matric. I didn't get a matric. Those people get to afford to go on holidays like that. I don't get to afford to go on holidays like that because of my circumstance. I'm telling you now, rank 9 is available to every single person in this room regardless of your circumstance. Don't make excuses why you can't get to rank 9. Or any rank for that matter. But don't make the mistake of getting excited about rank 9 before you even rank 1. You get excited about rank 1 first, right? This is where we're going this year. It's available for everybody. This is footage of the resort we're going to. 5-star Beachcomber Resort. Not their only 5-star, their top 5-star resort.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
You need to decide how long you want to take to get there. You want to do it in 5.5 months? You can take 5 years. There's no limit, no time limit. That's a good thing, right? Again, the accountability lies with you. I want to see those wealth engineers getting to rank 9, coming to Mauritius with their families, taking selfies on business class, on the beach, being served while they lie on the deck chair next to the pool. It's a taste of freedom. The choice of being able to indulge in things like this. The returns is still more important. This is the fun we have. The returns, the recurring income that you're creating for yourself every month is more important, because that's where your real financial freedom lies. At rank 11, we buy a brand new car and we give it to you. No debit order at the end of the month, no terms and conditions, no performance-related T's and C's. We buy the car, we deliver it to you, we take some photos so we can show everyone that we keep to our promises. And it's yours. We're very serious about seeing you become debt-free. We have a wealth quest. This is something that we run every month. This is just more benefit that you can gain out of being a wealth engineer, right? So we have a wealth quest that we run every single month. What it is us issuing a challenge to our wealth engineers, saying if you do this month, there's a reward that you can earn, right? And this month is called the Triple Lightning Qualifier. The month's nearly over, but there are certainly some wealth engineers that are going for this, because if they can put 3 new wealth engineers on their first point and help those 3 wealth engineers become qualified, in other words, get 3 wealth engineers each, if you can do that in this month, I'll give you a brand new iPad at the end of the month. Yeah, just a few weeks ago, we gave 8 iPhone 5Ss to wealth engineers that conquered last month's wealth quest. Every month, so on Monday, the new wealth quest will be emailed to all the wealth engineers. So keep your eye out for it, right? 1st of May, it's going to go out to everybody. You'll see what that month's challenge is going to be. All right, so this slide basically just explains our business model. It's very simple. Traditional business model. Mostly insurance companies will spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising. At DuePoint, you won't see a logo outside of this building because we don't do any marketing or advertising. We rely on our wealth engineers through referrals, through word of mouth to tell other people about DuePoint. And so we don't spend the billions that insurance companies spend on client acquisition every month. Instead, we take that portion of our premium and instead of giving it to media companies, we give it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. And that's basically, very basically, how our business model works here. Okay? You might be wondering what the products are. We know they don't take up space in your bucky. We've got 3 products. They're all financial in nature. They've got financial benefit to us, right? Very different financial benefits. So you're free to take out 1 product or all 3 products because they all have different benefits. The first product is an investment product. It's called Access Wealth. It's 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand we put into a tax-free investment fund in your name. It's not a fixed deposit or a notice deposit, so you can draw those investments out at any stage. Okay. On top of that, on top of the investment, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover with this investment product. So this is the investment product, right? Tax-free investment fund. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is only an insurance product. This is 274 a month. This time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover with this product. It's accessible to anyone over the age of 18. So you can be 90 years old and you can still take out this product. And it'll still only cost you 274 a month with 1.1 million Rands worth of benefit to it. Okay? So this is the insurance product. The third product is called Wealth Points. Wealth Points aims to save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. Okay, so for $274 a month, you get to indulge in those list of partners that we have there. We've gone to these companies and we've negotiated discounts with them, which we share with our Wealth Points Buyers Club members, right? So if you're a Wealth Points Buyers Club member, you get to go and enjoy the discounts with all those partners. So for only 274 Rand a month, ShopRite Checkers is very popular because we spend an absolute fortune on groceries every month, right? So if you go to ShopRite Checkers, you can enjoy a 2.5% discount on your entire trolley every time you shop there. And that's just one of them. We've got Hirsch's, we've got Take-A-Lot, Vodri is ladies' hair products, we've got personal trainers, we've got hairdressers, we've got Eagle Ford, which is a new one, right? We've already sold 2 cars through this program. 2 Fords, right? And we've got the Entertainer. Entertainer is awesome. 1.2 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers on that Entertainer partner. R1 million in discounts to restaurants, hotels around the world, the spas for the ladies to get their hair and nails done, all those type of things. So if you want immediate benefits, a great product to have. If you have any questions about the products, come speak to me afterwards. They're all very straightforward, but come talk to me if you have any questions. I remind you of the support that you get here. Remember on the slide where I introduced you to the team, our mandate is to support our wealth engineers. So everything that we do here is set up so that you can be more effective in this business, right? So the facilities that we've got here are for our wealth engineers. You can use the facilities, this room, the meeting rooms, the free Wi-Fi, the free tea and coffee. Use it. We live stream every event to the entire country every single day, except Sunday. You guys have the ability to now go out and build your channel in different towns and provinces, right? Because we are in everyone's living room. So lean into the support. The decision slide. We're at the end, guys. What was the decision? Have you decided? And the people that don't see value in this, couldn't really care. But the people that do see value in it, the people that are motivated by something like this, that are suddenly given renewed hope, those people, I'm asking you guys, what are you going to sacrifice in terms of time to make this business work? Have you decided? Is it going to be 1 hour a day? 3 hours on the weekend? What's it going to be? How quickly do you want to get to rank 9? Or are you going to say to me, I don't have enough time? I know you don't have enough time. No one's got enough time. My schedule's booked out from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. You have to make it. No one else is going to do it for you. You've got to decide to make spare time. You need to go home and speak to your spouse this afternoon and say, listen, we're going to do this business, but it means you have to do this because I'm going to be doing that. Manage it. Work it out. Don't make excuses about why you can't get to this position. Because I know we're all in the same boat. All crying month to month, year to year. Only you're going to change that circumstance. Your employer will not change it for you. We make joining very easy. We've got the free Wi-Fi. If you've got your own smartphone or a tablet on you, we've got iPads available for you too. Get onto our homepage, click on the blue apply button. You're a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, you have this thing that you've created that you can now build on. Get to rank 1 in 24 hours. Quickly. We've got training. Training is necessary. There's not that much training, right? Go speak to the unemployed lawyer that studied for 7 years. Got very little training in comparison to LLB. We've got 7 videos. 7 development seminars for our beginners. It's called the Basic Series. Watch the videos. No one watches the videos, I know. I'm telling you now. Go watch the videos. There's value in there. On Saturday, we're refreshing one of those development seminars. It's called Plugging into the DuePoint System. It's about how do I engage with the DuePoint system to be effective. And I'll tell you about all the different ways you can engage with the DuePoint system to be more effective. 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, we've got the intro presentation straight afterwards at 10 o'clock. Book yourself into the training and make sure you've got a whole bunch of guests joining you for the intro afterwards. Okay? Merchandise, it's not a profit center for us. It's here to make you more effective. Business cards. Have business cards. It lends so much to your credibility when you're able to give someone a business card when you tell them about the business opportunity. USB sticks. We've got videos on the USB sticks. If you don't want to use data, buy the USB stick. Power bank, because you're not going to ask me for a charger when you come to the office. Those little black pins that you see there, lapel pins. When you see people wearing those are people that are earning at DuePoint. Those are people that know what they're doing. Those are people that are building their business. Get one of them, right? There's credibility in that. And then we've got a host of other things, the notebook and the tablet cover and the pen. We've got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll tell you every time we post a new video onto the YouTube channel. And we've got a mobile app that allows you to manage your entire channel from the palm of your hand in real time. Tells you everything that's happening in your business. Okay? Guys, I'm done. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Freedom Day. There's another public holiday around the corner. There's a time to relax. Are we taking a nice holiday on Monday? Don't take holidays anymore. Not until you're debt-free. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. I thank you for your time. I'll speak to you outside.